Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pride Pod. We are live Tuesday, October the 21st at 8:06 p.m. Thank you for your support. We are definitely coming from a massive win, 3-2 against the Washington Spirit on October 18th. It was a thrilling NWSL regular season matchup at Audi Field, and it definitely marked the Spirit's first loss in over 4 months, and the Pride was able to snap their 13 match unbeaten streak. So obviously, almost 10,000 fans in that stadium in attendance. Definitely Orlando striking first in the 12th minute when Kerry Abello deflected a shot of the Spirit defender. And then obviously then Washington equalized. And, again, it was a action-packed matchup. We're going to be today discussing most of the review of what this Washington Spirit game got for Orlando, the implications in the standings, and what means for the Pride this massive win, and then also we're talking about international Pride player call-ups. I'm here with John. John, what's up, my friend?
Doing good, man. Yeah. I mean, what a win. I mean, I have to look back at what we predicted. I was definitely very down on the team last week after falling out of the CCC, which I've still not really forgiven them for. I don't think I'll ever really forgive them for falling out of that competition, but Washington away, what a, bounce back. The fight, the determination, the grit. A lot of what we were missing this year that we had last year was there on display. And I think it was a really good result. Marta, did what Marta does best. She put the team on her back. And she said, let's go win this game. And I'm sure the Washington Spirit fans are furious right now. Like you gotta love it when anytime we beat them. I mean, they obviously beat us twice earlier in the year. But going to their house and getting a victory in a high scoring game like this, I feel like is a real thorn in their side. And that always makes me happy too. So great result.
Yes, phenomenal result, and it kind of has Kansas City Current first in the standings. Tenma Chawinga is injured, so I don't know if she's going to be gone for. They say it's going to be a couple of weeks of rest or something like that. So this is really huge blow for the Current. Right on the verge of playoffs. Then you have second Washington Spirit with 44 points, and then third Orlando Pride with 39 points. Only 1 point. It's pretty much honed right there in the third spot, which is fantastic because the next game coming up against Seattle is going to be super vital for their aspirations and to just kind of solidify and be that contender. We have some comments here that we're going to be reading. Hold on, let me see who I have here. I have, the NWSL Reddit thread was horrible. Oh, I'm sure. Reddit is usually very toxic. I don't know if it's worse than Facebook, but I think they're head to head right there. I mean, at least the NWSL Facebook people that I've met are super nice, but the Orlando City people are just like
Yeah.
insane. Shinta
I,
0013, Washington and KC fans seem to be the saltiest. I'm sure. I'm sure. Go ahead, John. What you were going to say?
I'm just on that the KC fans were like really upset about what happened with Shawinga, and they were like, like, oh, she never should have been playing in this game. Like it didn't matter. We already wrapped up the shield, all this stuff, and like kind of like I don't know, like it's just sort of that like level of I don't want to say naivety because I don't know if that's the right word, but just like, hey, this is the game, right? Like your players are gonna play. Sometimes they get injured. You can't like be mad that they played them in this game or that game. Like it's not, I think that kind of stuff is you see across the league, and sometimes I think we just need to educate people and they would be less angry about stuff, right? I think a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of the
like
time it's just people that don't really fully understand the game yet, which is understandable. Everyone's like different levels of understanding of the game. So yeah, sometimes I think fans are just mad about stuff that doesn't really matter that much.
Obviously, when the team plays bad, you have to say like it is. We have to call it like it is, but also you have to do it in a way that it's like not a toxic way, right? You don't want to like hurt the player, or you don't want to also hurt the brand, in my opinion. So you just have to have you have to be important and truly pointing out the mistakes, when you make an analysis. And also fans, I mean, look, it's been a couple of seasons I've been covering the Pride, and the fans to me seem pretty level-headed. And actually when they run into this whole double last year, I mean, they were very level-headed. Obviously, yeah, the level of excitement was through the roof, but that type of level-headedness is what's going to get us, to make a really good non-toxic community. And trust me, like we talk about MLS all the time too, and we definitely see how online within one club there's several factions, and that is really to me like stupid. And everybody wants you to think the way they think, and it's like it just doesn't make any sense. I think everybody's free to have their own opinion on their game, on the game, on how they saw the game, and I don't think it's fair to diminish or throw under the rug other people's opinions just because you don't agree with them. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to say that the Pride doesn't really have a lot of that. I mean, at least for what I've read and what I've seen, and for the people that I've met going into the game. So you guys have to feel very proud, because the Pride right now is in a really good spot right now. And I think so coming up to Seattle, I think the girls are motivated. And I think what's important, because that motivation kind of fell off a little bit, John. I
Mhm.
don't know how you feel. I feel like this game is gonna be was super important for them, because it was such a contender, a team that it's always been kind of like a bogey team for us. We win one, then they beat us, then we win one, then they beat us again, and then it's like we have like this kind of mental rivalry. And I just think it's cool that we're ending pretty much the regular season, putting the nail in the coffin in Washington Spirit. I don't know, ruining kind of their parade.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna next week we'll deep dive into previewing the rain. We won't do that this week, but Washington Spirit, I think like we definitely have this back and forth, right? That just been going on, like I talked about last episode. We have that rivalry growing with them, and this was the latest blow. And like earlier in the season, they took away our shield, right at the beginning. There was that
Exactly. Yeah.
whatever it was. It wasn't even a shield; it's a cup or whatever it was. The NWSL Community Cup or Community Shield. Um, they won that. Then they also beat us in our house 1-0. That didn't feel good. And then it kind of like that started the decline. And one of the things I want to talk about, and that's why I had this up here, was all the table, was because a while back we were looking at the form table here. And in our last 5 away matches, we were like down here in 13th, 14th. And now we are all the way up in second. So in our last 5 games, we have the second best record in the league behind Kansas City Current, which is really, really encouraging. Last 4 games is a win, a draw, and 2 wins. So that's also really encouraging. If you take out, Champions Cup, this is just NWSL results. And then if we look at by XG, this is something that some people say XG doesn't matter. It just
No,
kind of
it's
gives you a
important.
general idea of like how much we're
Yeah, 100%.
creating, right? Like how creative is the team being in goals and assists, compared to others around them. And it kind of shows that maybe North Carolina Courage are a bit hard done by based on this, but we're up there in top 4, with the likes of, Kansas City Current, Gotham, Courage, Washington Spirit in 5th. So we're, I think, performing about where we are in the table now. We're right at the end of the season with this last string of results, with some draws and wins. We've really kind of come good, completely different to Orlando City. than the men who just plummeted the other way. So, I was not hopeful, I think, like a month or so ago about this team. Really, like we were looking at a downward spiral, a decline, and they just needed to get a string of good results. And this latest one against Washington Spirit is like that's like you just threw fire on it, right? Like so you just threw gasoline in the fire. Sorry. So now I feel like we can use this as a springboard. We've got this rest period here with the international break, but when we come back in early November, we'll be playing Seattle Reign at home in a really massive game, considering we're third and they're in fourth, and they're only 1 point behind us. If we can then spin that into a win, we're going to end up on 42 points in third place for sure. And it's going to be a really solid season, only really regressing from first to third in the actual table. And we'll be going into playoffs off the back of 3 wins in a row and real confidence and a sense of we can do something in the playoffs and go far and upset teams and maybe even win it, as opposed to like a month ago where we just were kind of falling away to the end of the season and there wasn't that hope, there wasn't that spark, there wasn't that drive, there wasn't that energy that we've seen in the last few games to win at all costs, no matter what. And really, that's what this team needs this year, because we don't have Barbara Banda. Like in many ways, she just scored so many goals last year. So we have to find goals from other places, and we have to rely even more on that grittiness, that I don't know what you want to call it, Luis, but that X factors that we bring and Marta brings, and so many of this team brings, the McCutcheon, etc. That is like, we will not give up, we will not let you past us, we will win the second ball, and we will find a way to beat you, just like we did against Washington Spirit. So if we're that Orlando Pride again going into the playoffs, totally we can do something. And it's great to see that we've found our form at the right time. If, like I said, if we win against Seattle, 3 wins in a row going into playoffs, is there a better scenario than that? I don't think there
it's
is.
it's
So that would be awesome.
yeah, it's huge. It's huge because as it stands now, as John was saying, the current right now would face Racing Louisville. That'll be pretty much that scenario in the playoffs. And then you're talking about Washington facing right now either Gotham or Portland. And then more than likely, I believe maybe Portland. And then we will be facing Gotham. So for us, I feel it gives enough time. And not only that, winning in Seattle, it's going to be a great preparation for either facing Portland or Gotham in the playoffs. And I think, you know, Gotham is a team that really doesn't like us either. Their coach like really didn't have a lot of good things to
Yeah.
say, the Spaniard guy. And then Portland has been also a bogey team for us, but we've come so close to also beat Portland. So I think like you said, it's good momentum. I'm just really proud on how the finishing improved in this game. They had a really the substitutions were spot on. Second half dominant Orlando Pride. The whole game, Orlando Pride only had 41% of possession against 59 of Washington. And I think that the X factor in this game was that the Pride did things that were a little different than other games, that they capitalized on set pieces. Marta came in literally like blowing steam. You know what I mean? She was the momentum the Pride needed to add that creativity and threat in the final third that Orlando needed. Also, the defense, Emily Sams, Raffaele had a great game. So I just think that to me was why Orlando Pride really won this game, and if they take that and they watch film again on this game and they can imitate that level of execution, Orlando is going to be a team that's going to piss a lot of people off in the playoffs, John. I think we the fans need to feel a little with a little bit more comfort going into the playoffs. Let's read some comments real quick here. It says, of all sad words, the NWSL Reddit thread was horrible. Reddit is the worst, says Shinta. Of all sad words, says also shout out to the totally not toxic spirit fans who shouted at me and my friends from a moving car. Clearly, we're the horrible people. I just don't understand that. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, why?
The Spirit fans seem to like Spirit and KC fans definitely just don't like us, and that was what we saw at the final. It was that combination of like them, being like, "Hey, we're really buddy buddy again," in our loathing of Orlando. So yeah, I'm not surprised if something happened where there's nonsense being shouted. It really upsets me because I feel like the great thing about women's soccer is it's starting from a point where none of that
Exactly.
history and BS is there. So when people start to do that in this, it's just like, no, like this is not like, don't
It's
bring
not the
that
night.
here. We don't need that kind of bad vibes here, right? Like support your team, go all out for that. But like you don't, you can have a bit of fun on social media, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a line, everyone knows where it is. And if people start crossing that in the sport, it's like, you just don't want to see it. Let's not do that. So I'm not surprised though, because yeah, the final there were some Spirit fans and some KC fans that also had some words to shout at me when I was supporting my team.
No, 100%. And I've never experienced it like that, but I do see it what they do online. And it seems kind of weird because I mean the Pride, if anything, it's the underdog. I mean, look at the Pride's history compared to what Portland, the Seattle's. Like I just feel like
We literally had one year where we were, like before that we hadn't done anything.
yeah. More comments. Josh Stahl says, "Let's go, Marta," and then Shinta says, "Crying because they got beat." There you go. 100%. So you have a graph right here, right, John?
Sorry, yeah,
Here,
it's the momentum the foot mob likes to do, and it's just like I was bringing it up because, like you were saying, Louise, look how much of the darker blue is Washington. They have the ball so much, the lighter blue Orlando Pride. Like we really in these moments of counterattack were more clinical and had actually made the most of those chances, but we didn't really have the ball a lot. I don't think that was going to be the case when we go to Washington anyway. That's not really how we play. They are a team that possesses the ball a lot. They have a lot of good players to do that. I just feel like we kind of played in that game plan and we used our subs right. And I think the second half, they just really crumbled as well. Advantage of dating. They have a fresh to this game compared to them who had played for. I think that showed in the second half. I saw much just prioritize on that and late in the game.
yeah, how momentum is saying. I think Shin is John. One is in regards to that. You know, mind you, Washington had in this game defensive lapses. And according to some of the pundits from Washington, they were saying that they're blaming it to the back line and the deflections. It says apparently that Orlando was lucky. That's how they say they were lucky. Ricochets they call as they were just deflecting the ball from their box. And despite them dominating possession with numbers, this game for them was a dud in the sense of all their attacking third that they have, a very powerful one, but 18 shots out of 18 shots, only um, two real chances, like two accurate chances out of 18 shots, only converted, two goals. And then obviously you have the Orlando's backline with Anna Morehouse that had a good game, and then you have Emily Sams had a good game. And I just felt like the coach said at the end in the post presser that they had flaky moments, and those flaky moments in defensively it hurt them tremendously, because he mentioned that the Pride still has a lot of young, hungry players in their squad. So, and I agree with the assessment that the coach of the Spirit said, that it pretty much. Now Orlando, on the other hand, they took advantage of the gifts that they were given by Washington, and I think
Yeah,
that to me, it's a statement win, John. I see it as a statement
I
win
think I
because
think for them though, it's like yeah, there is somewhat argument to what he's saying, but I would also say that I mean, if we look at the stats here, like they didn't really have that many more shots than us. They didn't have any more shots on target than us. According to football, we created more big chances, quote unquote. Like I think our quality of our chances being created were more clear cut, like they were more obvious chances. So I think they spent a lot of time passing the ball around, moving the ball around, and possessing it, but not really doing too much in our final third and not really putting that much pressure on. The Carriabello goal,
yeah.
like from the other thing that you said about the fans thinking that we got lucky, like there was a own goal for them from Carriabello's. I don't know how that's us getting lucky if there's an own goal that comes off our player and goes in the back of the net. I don't really understand that at all. And I also feel like
Because apparently it came from a deflection, John. So it's like we didn't work hard
well,
enough
Carrie
for
just
the
headed it
ball.
straight up into our own net. Like she just made a massive, like not to belittle her because she killed and she went and scored a goal right after. But
Right.
um, like I don't understand how you saying that's a deflection. You go back and watch it. She just heads it straight up into our like she kills out. It's a great header. It's just the wrong net. And then down the other end, of course, we get that she gets a great I don't know why they think it's like a easy deflection there. The ball comes like they clear it to the edge of the box. No one is marking Carrie. She does this beautiful sort of what like a knockdown and then volleys it. So that's I don't know what that's got nothing to do with anything there. I don't really understand where this idea of like phantom we got lucky with deflections. I mean, their goal I think there was a little bit of a luck on their one, honestly. If you're talking about anything, I mean, she flicks it behind her, which is a great bit of skill, Luis, for that awesome goal. And I think they got lucky that Anna Morehouse just didn't make a save to our near post, and also that Rafa like stuck her leg back. If her leg was slightly, further back, she would have just touched that ball and it would have gone out. So there was like the tiniest little window, like which that flick back could have gone into the net, and it went into the net from such a tight angle. I'd say that's a pretty lucky finish on their side, and that was 2-1. And then Marta comes on, and really just the game changes, and they get tired. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think she has a great run into the box and then shoots. I don't know what they're doing on that one. And then finally, we get the penalty. Maybe they're saying we got lucky on a PK shout. I disagree. I think it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I think if you push a player from behind in the box in any league in the USA, they're going to call it. So. You want to go through it all and look at it?
Yeah, so here's the goal from Cantori, which, by the way, I think it's a great striker. I can't believe we
Yeah,
didn't poach her,
she's
but
she's
again, and now I don't know. How do you feel about Obaya's progression so far?
she's doing all right. Yeah, I mean it's the crossing is threatening. I think she's she's not in the positions I would love to see her in. Like I think when she's on the right side, she's cutting in on her left foot. She's gonna try and
Yeah,
shoot a bit more, which we don't really get to see a lot of that before, Seb then pushes her out to the left and wants her to cross balls in with her left foot, which also works. Or often when she's on the right side, she just in swings balls, like long crosses, instead of actually dribbling and trying to shoot with her left foot. So I would like to see her be a bit more aggressive at times and take players on sometimes 1v1, especially if she knows like she's got a weak matchup. Like we need to see her against a fullback that's having a bad day, and she knows that, and she grows in confidence in a game and kind of see a little bit of that magic, because I don't think we've seen the magic just yet. I think we've seen moments of great assists, but I want to see her take a player on, slot the ball in the top corner. She's capable of it, and there's been some shots where it's close, but it's a bit off the post or a bit wide. So she's getting closer. I really feel like if we're gonna do something in the playoffs, Ovalle really, stepping it up another level from what she's been doing so far is kind of a big part of that. Like I think we need everybody in this team, but the really key players like, McCutcheon is bringing it, but we need
yeah,
Angelina to step up. We need, Ali Watt to be the Ali Watt that she can be. Carrie Abello in this game was stepped up massively, but we need that same thing from Ayane at right back. We'll talk about other players in the team, but Ovalle is a big part of that. Like she needs to step up as well in her performance this, and hopefully she will, because she's only been here half a season. Arguably, the playoffs is when she's gonna, now start to really get into rhythm. She's had some good minutes, and I feel like she understands her role, but I want to see more of what she can do.
I just think she's not a winger. I know.
I can
I,
argue,
I
yeah,
think
she's
that it'd
putting
be
these
good to
crosses in
see her.
because she's. You don't think she's a 1v1 winger? Okay.
Right. I don't think she's a 1v1 dribbling past the winger. I think she would be great to be used as a
But she
number
could do that
10.
in Liga MX, or you think she just can't physically do that in NWSL?
I think she needs one
Or too
full
fast.
preseason. I think she could do it, but I think she needs one full preseason with the squad
Yeah,
because there'll be plenty of chances there in practice that she'd be able to do drills about that.
yeah,
Certainly, but I think that, like you said, I think we need to see more of her magic. And because she's cutting so much into the middle, might as well just
yeah.
put her as your 10 on a 4-2-3-1.
I like her crossing from the wide positions. I think that is good, and I think that's something they've been using.
Hmm.
But you could move her out there. I agree with you in many ways that she's a player that's really good in tight spaces,
Hmm.
and she's a player that's got a great pass on her. So I think you could definitely play her in that number 10 role. They're
Hmm.
very attached to the McCutcheon Angelina Limos trio, and I don't think they're going to move away from that anytime soon. So
Right.
that's where I don't think there's space to put her in the midfield and play a 4-2-3-1. We're kind of playing this 4-3-3 now. Um, but I think next season, if Marta's here, or if Marta's not here, I think playing Ovalle as your number 10 could definitely be a very viable option. I
Yeah, I
think
think if,
she
yeah,
can play there, and maybe that's a better use of her skill set, and have faster, stronger physical players on the outside.
yeah, she could be like an Ivan Rakitic or like, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
like she has not
very
only the
good
pass,
with the
the
ball at her
the set
feet.
piece,
Yeah,
but I think in tight spaces she'll be truly very useful, in my opinion. And also, it will give fresh legs to Marta if she decides to stay one more season. Because
yeah.
as
You
you can
rotate them as your
as
number
you can
10.
see, Marta works best not starting. You
Yeah,
know.
but they've also been putting Marta on the wing, I think, to give her more space, because
Hmm.
I think now Marta can't wiggle out of those spaces as best like she could before, and now I think they're trying to find her more space on the wing.
Let's read some comments real quick. It says here, do you think Marta starts next game? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're gonna put her in the second half like they're doing it now. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah,
Shinta says, I hope Marta have been more effective coming off the bench. Good goal from the Italian, terrible from the Brit. This is Shinta0013. At least Tabella redeemed herself. I know, right? Our mids need to connect with her better. Our mids need to connect with her better, and she should be playing on the left. Balser said she needs a job for 2026. She'll be a great backup for Banda since this club loves to cross and we need to know. Oh, yeah. Balser's available? Oh,
that would be. Yeah, I mean,
where do I sign?
Luis is like,
Mid. Look, you know
I
who I
love me a
would
big
get?
number 9. I'm in.
I saw, you know who also wants to leave? I heard. Word
Yeah,
on the street. Mitch Persh.
I would. That wouldn't shock me.
And I will love for Mitch Persh to come to Orlando, play on that right
She
wing.
made that. She has that whole series she makes in South Florida. What is it called? That one that I watched. It was on. It was on like YouTube or something. I don't
You
remember.
imagine Persh band up top, Obaya in the middle. I mean, I'm just saying.
There's. We can imagine the future. Let's continue through this highlight, so we used to talk about the rest of this game.
All right, hold on.
The carry
Now a chance for
goal,
Ovaya to put a dangerous cross in.
This
She's
is
put
the
quite
one.
and no one runs out fast enough. And yeah, it's a,
No,
but
the deflection
despite
doesn't
all
even
that,
come.
she's got like a few seconds to pull off this finish before they close her down, and she just nails it. It's perfect.
It's a Haley McCutcheon assist, man,
Do you
because
think
it's
she
a
get the head
deflection.
there? Does she get
Yeah,
the head
she
on
hits
that?
it.
Oh, I thought
To
they
me,
just failed to clear it.
yeah, Haley McCutcheon hits it. She's the
Wow, what
one
a
who
perfect
actually
header from
kind of
Haley
clears
McCutcheon.
it forward, and then just the touch is just with it. She hit
Why?
it with it.
Why? Who is this? Is that Rose Kowasi? Who is? Why is she doing the like?
Yeah, she's doing the Matrix.
She's doing the Matrix out of the way of the ball. Like
Correct. Yeah, she's doing the Matrix. She's
that's
trying because otherwise
wrong.
her
You misunderstood the
otherwise she's gonna
assignment. Uh,
yeah,
you should be doing
otherwise
the
her hair is
Matrix in
gonna
the
get
way of the
messed up.
ball. That's crazy. If I saw that as a Washington Spirit fan, I'd be so mad. Like, block the ball. Like, it does take
No,
one for the team.
but the shot had so much power because she hit it with the
She's freak.
front of her left
They're
foot.
all just. I mean, just from here, it looks wild. It literally looks like, oh, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna
Yeah, it
get
looks like she's
out
in
of
the
the way for
in
that.
midair.
Like halftime in this game,
I think it's her
and
leg.
I think she's just really struggling with fitness. But like when she's on the field, she's great. And we have a left back problem, especially when you play one of them as a left winger and you don't really want to play her as a left back. Like really now, I consider Corey Dyke our backup left back because it's not going to be Carson Pickett very often, and Carey's going to be out. And in this scenario, that's exactly what happens. Corey comes on and fills in very well at left back.
Exactly. And then look, this is the second goal for Washington right here.
a step forward.
And again, it's scary. Pickett,
There, and we'll slip in behind.
a little slow right there on the. I mean, she could have just slide right there, in my opinion.
Mateer.
And then this right here. This right here, it's a beautiful goal.
Slid across and a flick on from contact.
It's a beautiful finish. There's no.
Yeah, but Anna could have
it's
done a little more.
I will say it's not great that Rafa just lets her get in front of her. Like Rafa's kind of sleeping a little bit there. And then I think I'm not happy with Anna for the fact like it's cheeky, but like again, look at her leg position.
Yeah.
Why is she trying to save near post shots with her leg? Like, get down on the ground and make a save. I'm sorry, but I've just said it too much, Luis. And this is another one where it's like, yeah, it was really cheeky, but like if you got down, you probably could have knocked that away. Instead, you just try to throw a leg at it and end up doing a giant lunge in your own net. Like, I just.
Bro, I thought
I think she's too slow to get to the ground. Maybe I don't know the sport. Maybe I don't understand the game. But I'm just saying, like we see this so often. I'm very frustrated.
Maybe she needs to wear. Maybe she needs to wear knee pads.
Yeah, Honestly, I don't know what it is. I think, like, in the last, how many games have we had? I mean, she had like one clean sheet. What was that? The one clean sheet against
Yeah.
Portland, and everyone was like, "Whoa, Anna, like amazing!" But like outside of that, it's been a lot of errors. And I know I
Yeah,
talk
look at
about
right here. Look at it right here.
I know I talk about this a lot, but there it just comes up a lot, and I just really, I think in the playoffs, if there is a situation where it's clearly her fault, I'm just
You're
gonna
gonna
say,
lose it,
I
John.
told y'all, like I said it, and here we are. So
You're gonna
don't blame
say,
me in the
bloody
playoffs when
hell,
there's some
mate.
howling. There's some howling at a Morehouse error, and yeah. So this one, I think,
Yeah. She could have done a
a
little bit more.
very good series. We can't
I
take it away
tweeted,
from the great
I
finish.
tweeted that she could have done a hell of a lot more on this right here.
I just,
Once it is
there
Hey, look at that! Look at that!
she looks around, she like peeks her head around to be like, I can see the ball's coming, and then she still doesn't get to the ground. So yeah.
Shoot. But
All
then
right. Well,
Orlando, you know, delivers.
And the
And the
double
second half
change
came
actually
in, and then I think that the pride came alive in the second half.
comes from both sides. So it will be Carriabello and Carson Pickett who will come off. So, Laura, you were saying it there in that first half that the issues were down that left side.
And also, they said that it was
this
luck.
one is a little lucky because it's a deflection, but then we had that with the Carriabello goal, so it really evens each other out. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, but I mean,
Like Carriabello literally scored an own goal. This was a shot by Marta. This was a legit shot that deflected off of Miura and goes in the back of the net. Sorry, off Narumi.
we need to see Ovalle learn. Like, I think Marta should have a in the
Chop learning
preseason.
session.
In the
This is how we chop.
preseason, yeah, a dribbling, like a dribbling teaching to Ovalle, because Ovalle won't do this, but I mean, she has the type of physicality that she be able to. But Marta cooked the defender. Like, she smoked him. Like right here, look,
Yeah.
like that, and then obviously that shot right there, and that was gonna go in either way.
Cross, but either way, when you watch a
Yeah.
feed and you're like, oh, their mics are like literally pointed at this point. I think they did that in the final for the Washington Spirit as well. So maybe this is a request they have always from the Washington Spirit, whoever is saying, we gotta make sure we're miking that section back there. I'm pretty sure they got some field mics or some of the stadium mics aimed at that section. So you could hear, like, even to the point where I could hear like intricate conversations sometimes going on between these fans, like in the background of the state of the broadcast.
Beer's too expensive here.
Yeah, like literally. So I was like, oh yeah, and I look, they get good attendance. I think they got way.
Yeah, they got almost 9,000 fans in this game.
Great for them, but never mic your supporters. It's just such a cliche, disgusting thing.
Do you have a cash for the tip, bro?
Who does that is Inter Miami. That's who does that. That's
talking about Inter. Don't even get me started with Inter Miami, because whatever.
They put mics on the wall in the Swan. Always to hear the Swans.
Yeah,
I don't watch the away. I don't watch home games away, so we shouldn't do that either. In my opinion, it should not be done.
I'm tired of people.
Some people, like an NWSL thing, they want to mic the stands because that's horrible. I didn't know they did that.
No, it's just that it just messes up the culture of the actual club, in my opinion.
It's just on the broadcast. It doesn't come across as like you just hear that one section of fans. You know what I mean? You need to like the whole sound of the stadium comes from it being naturally full of people, not just miking one section.
Right. It's just not organic, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's not the same,
But if
100%.
it's
And
like
no,
a
yeah,
league thing or like a club thing that we're choosing to do, then I don't get it. I don't think we
yeah.
should, personally.
And then we have Washington Spirit having some chances here, you know, and then we got the Pride with this right here.
It is what it is.
Let's watch it.
You push them.
Yeah, you did.
You know what the refs are like in this league. You do anything like that. You put hands on a player in this league above the waist, like you push them. The ref's going to give it. You do it from behind in the box, he's going to give a penalty. Like it's not.
100%.
Whether you think it's weak, whether
Sell the
whatever.
contact.
And by the way, this is Washington Spirit here. Like, how many times do you see Rodman fly over for something like that? Like, that's like a Rodman special. So I don't know what these Washington Spirit fans are complaining about. This is something their own players do constantly. So, and I think, you know, when you're a striker and you feel contact behind you in the box, you feel that tussle, you're going to go down and you're going to look for the call. It's just the way the game works. So, yeah, it's a penalty. Sorry.
That's a penalty, bro. Like, you just
I
put
don't
in
know
the
what they're
form in the
complaining about on
back.
that one. But what a
Oh,
comeback. And then Marta just, slots it. So no worries there.
It says they put the mics on the wall too. Always hear the swarms. Says they've mic'd our capo stands, and then we got told to say the F word less.
Lol.
There you go. It's soft, but it's a foul. Center forward called it. Isn't getting the turnover. Hands on the back. Done. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, that then led. There was not even. It was like in the build up to the goal, and they were like, "That's the reason Orlando Pride won the whole thing." It's just their fan base just wants to complain when they lose. They want to be a winning team all the time, and when they don't win, they want to point at other things apart from their performance. But really, here they threw the game away. They had it in 2-1, and they let Marta come on and change the game, and they let us grow in confidence. She did. She did the perfect sail of I'm going this way. Oh no, I'm going to pull it and go this way, and you get that wonderful slot into the bottom corner.
One thing I want to criticize too is like they gave I think 8 minutes of added time in this game.
Yeah, that was wild.
That's too much, bro.
And also, didn't he go way over the 8 minutes? Wasn't it like actually
they went
12?
over the
I don't know. There's that
minutes,
injury, but yeah,
it's too much.
Sometimes they get aggressive with that, like
that's too much, bro.
blow the whistle. Yeah, pretty bad.
Now, have you noticed something between Orlando City and Orlando Pride that's happening lately? Both their coaches are wearing white.
Oh, really? Do you think it's like do you think Oscar lent Seb one of his lucky white teeth? Is that the scenario? I don't think so. But I like the idea.
It says like 3 minutes over is this kind of production.
Whatever lucky item like Seb wore last year, we need to give that to Oscar. That's
It says do we know when the first run of playoffs starts? Says Sky Dream Production.
Well, Cyborg's answered that.
NWSL says the playoff schedule will be released the first week of November. Quarterfinals will take place November 7th and 9th, and semifinals November 15th and 16th. Right before Thanksgiving.
We just roll right into it, man, because like obviously our last game is on the Saturday the 2nd. Sorry. So Sunday the 2nd? Yeah. And then the next weekend would be quarterfinal, then the next weekend would be semifinal, then the next weekend would be because we're getting the good thing is the international break, unlike MLS, where the international break is in the middle of the playoffs, which sucks. Here they get the international break out of the way. We're having this last week of regular play, and then we just roll straight into the playoffs week, back to back to back. Yeah, it's the best the simplest playoff format. There's no muss, no fuss, no BS here. Just straight up, top what is it? Top 8 play down to 4, to 2 to 1 in terms of games. So 4 games, 2 games, 1 game.
Shinta0013, I was so mad at management where they gifted Bledsoe to Washington, but good for her, I guess. Yeah. I was too drunk to notice how far over stoppage time we went.
We went well far of stoppage time, I'll tell you that.
Shinta0013, the way City's playing, keep your lucky shirt. There you go. I know,
exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like we need
look, let me
Zeb
tell
to
you
lend the
something.
lucky item. No, there's no luck there
Look,
right now.
I'm going to say that right now we would be facing either Gotham or Portland based on the standings if the playoffs were tomorrow, essentially.
Yeah.
So if we keep hope alive and we keep moving on to the playoffs, there's definitely, let me take this out right here. There's definitely going to, we're definitely going to play at home. We're going to be playing at home because we're the 3rd seed, right? So more than likely we're going to be playing at home. If we get far, if in the scenario that Orlando Pride goes to the finals again, against all odds, without Barbara Banda, against all odds, it would be amazing to take my daughter to the game and just really like not cover that game, but just to enjoy as a fan.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now a home playoff game is really, that's what we want. So if we get 3rd or 4th, we're going to get that advantage probably until, the semis potentially, but definitely at least one home playoff game. And that's what we want to see. So we just got to do it. And, we're going to talk more about Seattle Reign next week and kind of the closing week and our predictions and all that. But yeah, we're ending in a good spot here. So that's great to see.
Yeah. Skydiving Productions. If the finals hope the front office can reimburse us how they did to the Washington away fans. Yeah.
I wish so. That would be great. You know what? Like I would really like to, even if we have just like a semifinal or something away, like I think Gotham would be great. I'd like to go New York in the winter for a game. I can see that. I just think it's a lot to go all the way east, West Coast. Sorry. It's a lot of money to go West Coast. So there's not a huge amount of teams that are like local to us. Like maybe an away game to Washington. I know obviously some people just went there. But maybe a away game to Washington is one of the easier ones for us to do. Everyone else is like kind of far away. It's like really, it's a very Western heavy league, this in some ways. You got a lot of California teams, some Midwest teams, Texas teams, etc. The East side really just us and Spirit and Gotham. So if we play one of those and Carolina as well, so if we play one of those teams, that would be great because then it's like a little bit easier of an away trip, and maybe the front office will be like, yeah, we'll fund you guys to go to New York or something. I don't know. That would be cool though. I'd like to see it.
Look, the NWSL. I was reading an article from Just Women's Sports, and they were talking about how attendance averages have declined across several NWSL markets, especially this season. And I'm just going to say this. I understand that the final could have 30 or 40,000 fans, but a lot of that is how many season pass holders or tickets have sold, right? Not necessarily means that, or scalpers have bought. Now, from my understanding is that Washington, Gotham, this is here, while the Washington Spirit, Gotham FC, Orlando Pride, North Carolina Courage have all made attendance gains this year. That's not the trend according to ESPN Jeff Kassouf. Currently 13th in overall attendance, the Chicago Stars are tackling the issue by moving from SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview to Evanston Northwestern Stadium next season, making matches accessible by public transit for the first time. So a lot of these franchises are moving to smaller venues because of the declining attendance. So aside of Gotham, Washington, Orlando, and North Carolina, a lot of the other ones have gone down in attendance. Now, I don't know if Kansas City is part of that list, but I mean, if Just Women's Sports has that scoop, I mean, I think it is important to take a look into that. And they need to change this whole rule of a neutral site for the final. I think it should be the highest seeded.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, if Orlando goes to the final and they face San Diego Wave,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
the final
The
should be in
The
Orlando.
Wave get a home advantage, even though they're potentially seeded 6th or 7th.
Right. Or if Orlando Pride goes to the final and then they face Washington, then they gotta go to Washington and face Washington again. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no, we get to the
Like,
final, we gotta go. This is wild. We gotta go all the way to the East Coast, West Coast. Sorry, spend two.
it doesn't make any
You're gonna send
sense.
2 East Coast teams to the West Coast for a final.
They what
I mean, we
Orlando
did that
Pride?
last year, really, because it was 2 East Coast teams sent to not the West Coast, but to the Midwest for a final.
Do you understand how much it costs a flight from MCO to San Francisco or to San Jose? I mean, it's over $1,000 at least.
Like, I get that you want to showcase different stadiums around the league, but like, just do that. You're doing that in the regular season. Like, just put certain
Yeah.
games on at certain times, show those fan bases, show those stadiums. The final, unless it's like a neutral site. The other thing I wouldn't mind them doing is being like, we're gonna do it like when you get to the final, you could have potential sites that are maybe halfway between the two cities, and they're a MLS stadium that's neither stadium that could be used, right? Like that's the kind of thing where I'd be like, all right, that's a real neutral site. But when you're doing it at one of the stadiums of the teams in the league, it's never really a truly neutral site. I mean, it was
100%.
Kansas City Current fans dominating a lot of our stadium, a lot of the final stadium last year, because they bought tickets expecting their team to be there months before, and were like, well, I'm just going to go, or they sold them, or they couldn't sell them, and then they were just an empty seat there. So that's the thing. It doesn't breed like a good atmosphere to have 2 away teams. At least have
I
one home team.
understand. I understand. I don't know if they do it because of a politics thing or they want to be fair, but life ain't fair. And if you are top seeded, you deserve to host with your people. And look, Orlando has a beautiful stadium that hosts over 25,000 souls. You understand the amount of pressure you put to the Orlando Pride front office to pitch the final in Orlando. That shit's gonna be packed. Not only the club is gonna make bank for on the final, but it also going to help NWSL selling NWSL merch, replicas of the trophies that the NWSL can make revenue on, or they can even share a piece of the pie with Orlando. Plus, who doesn't want to come to Orlando for a final? Let's say the final is on a Friday night. Then you have Saturday and Sunday. You have the parks. You have all kinds of things you could do.
Yeah.
You got a Viettown. You can have some pho. Like you can do so many things.
We hosted ours years ago, and we weren't in it when we were like, on the list of stadiums they haven't been to yet. I just think this like need to take it to a different stadium each year. It's just not needed.
It's not good.
And the
It's
league
like they
is
do it
growing
like
past
in
that
South
to a point
America.
where
It's just stupid.
there's real fans, and also like you're not giving the city the opportunity to then back those teams. So like for us last year, when we were in the final, like, or if we were the higher seed, we would have had it in our stadium, and then you would have seen a lot of the other soccer fans or just other sports fans of the city come out and support because it's a final, because they just want to be there, they want to see it, And we missed out on that because we have to have it in a city where they're not just going to go, they're just not doing that. So, yeah, there's a few more comments here, Louise, and then let's talk about international players.
This is win, draw. We likely host. To be honest, I don't even want them to host. We've been better away this season. Shinta 0013. I want to host. You know why? Because I want more, but I want more Pride fans. I want to convert more, more Pride more fans into Pride fans, and for them to know that there is a very good competitive product in women's sports here in the. You know how many Orlando's a family town. How many families they want, to see like good role models for their daughters. At least I do. And so, you take them to see these athletes like the Orlando Pride, phenomenal women, powerful women, run by powerful women, the club, Haley Carter and all the staff. It's great to see that. It's like you're setting an example. You know how many people would like to do that in Orlando, and then they do this thing in San Jose. So for me to do that, I have to like buy a ticket for over $1,000.
Yeah,
It
it's
just doesn't make any sense.
It's in the PayPal Park in San Jose. So like it's what Bay FC would be your local team technically.
Yeah.
They play there. I think they
Yeah.
do. I can't remember where they play.
Yeah, with Bay. Well, it's close. It's San Francisco, right? Bay,
Yeah,
Bay, San Francisco.
I think they play in the San Jose Stadium. I'd have to check that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know they played that one game in like the baseball stadium. But yeah, it's already predetermined that it's going to be, and that's because they're like one of the new teams, right? So like I think we'll probably go to Utah at some point, even though they're kind of like not a new team, they're like a returning new team.
You want to go to the Book of Mormon?
But like after Boston come in, they'll probably, if they keep on this trend, then we'll do one in Boston, and then after Denver, they'll do one in Denver. Like so, it's fine, but like we don't need to. It's just not necessary, in my opinion. And like in this scenario, Bay FC are well out of the playoff. They're terrible, but
100%.
If they were good, and they were in the playoffs, and they did get to a game, they would, the final, then they would have that scenario. Like last year, exactly for us, if we had played Kansas City, if it worked out that way, we would have been in their stadium for a game that we rightfully would have been a home game for us, not an away game. So it's just not a fair system, and I think they just need to change it, and it's boring. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's move on.
Not a huge amount here to talk about because no one's played a game yet, but the players that have been called up for this international break, Jackie Ovaya here on the front page with her Mexico flag. All right, Anna Morehouse has been called up to England.
Why?
She's got friendlies versus Brazil and Australia. Not to be harsh, but like she's never played a game for England. She's never, not even a friendly. So I do think it's kind of why it's a fair question. Like I feel for Anna making these trips back and forth to England because it's something that I do a lot. And like just put her on, like give her a game against Australia. What's the worst that's going to happen? But it hasn't happened yet. So let's see if it does. Jackie Ovaya being called up for Mexico. They've got 2 international friendlies against New Zealand. So they'll be going on this week and next week. Angelina for Brazil. So no Marta or Rafaeli for Brazil, but Angelina. And she's been called up there. We'll be playing England and Italy. So 2 really big friendlies for Brazil there. Let's see if Angelina can shine. Emily has been called up. There's 3 games for USA in this camp. They really like to squeeze them in. Starting in 2 days, USA versus Portugal. Then they play Portugal again on Sunday. And then next Wednesday, they will play New Zealand, who are clearly doing a tour here of the North American region, playing Mexico and United States. Grace Chanda has been called up to Zambia. They play tomorrow versus Namibia, and then also she plays on Sunday again against Namibia. Of course, Priska no longer here with the team, and Barbara injured, so that's just our one Zambian being called up there. And Zara Shravashi continues to get called up for Canada. She will be playing on Friday against Switzerland, and then next Tuesday against the Netherlands as well. So 2 very winnable games there for Zara. Let's see if she gets some serious minutes. So that is 6 of our players out in international duty. So yeah, let's see how they'll perform next Monday. We'll be back to look at all the games that they played this week, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about those as well as preview Seattle Reign, our final game of the season. So yeah, no one's played a game yet, but 6 calls up, and we'll all be keeping an eye out to see how they do. Maybe there'll be some goals. Maybe we'll see an Angelina goal on social media, or a Jackie Ovalle goal on social media, or some Zara Savoshi great moments from her defending for Canada, etc. But
For Canada,
it's a continuous trend for us, right? Like every time we get a international window, there's at least 5 to 10 of our players getting called up for various nations, which is a great thing.
100%. And it's important that these players are getting the exposure to play for the national team, because there is a bid of doing the Women's World Cup. I do want to say the U.S. announces that they want to co-host the 2031 Women's World Cup here in the United States. So it will include Mexico, Jamaica, and Costa Rica. They've done it's called Together. That's what it's called, the bid, and they presented already. It's a U.S. led joint bid with Costa Rica, with with Jamaica, with Mexico, to do it together for the Women's World Cup. I don't know, what are your thoughts regarding that? I think that's huge. It will be the 3rd time the U.S. will be hosting the Women's World Cup, 1999 and 2003, more than any other nation. So I have a feeling that I have a feeling they're going to get the bid. And more than likely, if that's the case, because it's U.S. led, that'll mean that the final, semis, and quarterfinals will probably play in America. And probably the group stages in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Jamaica.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I mean that's what we want to see, right? I mean it's hopefully more affordable than the Men's World Cup is going to be here, because
Inter&Co Stadium.
Yeah, definitely a site. I think we should be
100%.
We should be on the radar when the U.S. women's national team comes. It has been a while, but when they do come, they always get great attendance, and I always feel like it's a good spot for them, a good sized stadium for them to come see.
I shouldn't. Listening to another podcast, they were calling Priska Timu Banda. How's Priska been doing?
I'm still laughing at that. I'm sorry,
bro. Let me tell you something. I got hit in the hand, bro. But apparently Priska left because of me, guys.
No, that's not true.
I was too negative on my analysis of Priska of Priska, bro. No,
I think you're like we said before, people have players they like and don't like, and you're gonna express your feelings on that. And part of being a player is you gotta have thick skin, and you gotta know there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of you gotta perform. It is what it is. This is the game. It's professionals. You're being paid to perform. It's a job, right, Luis? And like anything, I think that's something we forget too. Is just like in your work, where there's expectations and deadlines, and you got to perform, you got to deliver. The same thing is with players, and the difference is with your work, if you mess up a few times, they don't immediately say, okay, we got to move you on, because there's just such high expectations in soccer, and such high, especially what's the word, Luis? Like you've got to reach the levels. It's either you win games or you don't win games. It's the same for coaches, the same for players. Either you're successful or you're not successful, and if you're not successful, they're gonna move you on. It's just the way it is. And I think with Priska, it's the tales all the time, right? Sign player, have high expectations. Player doesn't meet expectations. Player decides that they want to be somewhere else, or we decide that we need to move the player on. We see it all the time, and it's sad, but it is what it is. And I don't think she's gonna be lighting it on fire at Bay FC anytime soon. I will be shocked.
No, she's at Angel City.
Remember when everyone was like really upset because we let Messiah Bright go?
Who?
Like this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she's good, like she's okay, but she's not like, oh my god, like I'm not
No,
like,
she
oh my
wasn't
god, bring
good.
back Messiah Bright. Like no, like they're the players that are okay, let them go. The ones that are really good, the ones that you love, like the ones that have been there forever, the ones that when Marta goes, that's gonna be crushing. I think
Things happen for a reason.
yeah,
Right? Evelina
exactly.
Doljan, for example, to me was a favorite of mine. To
Yeah.
me, she should have never left.
Evelina Doljan, that
But
one hurt. I think that one hurt because she was young. But we just didn't. She probably wanted first team minutes, and we just weren't willing to give that to her. Like that's a lot of it as well.
yeah,
Is where's the player at in their cycle and what they need? What do you need for your squad? I think so
yeah, but then she
often,
got injured.
right? There's that part of it. There's so many elements that go into making decisions about players' contracts, both from the club perspective, the players' perspective, both from like professional point of view, a personal point of view, geographical point of view, monetarily, like financial point of view. Like there's so many reasons why players come and go and stay or sign a contract or don't sign a contract. I mean, look at Morgan. Middle of the season, she's just like, yo, I want to go to Newcastle. Like, what? Like cool, but like no one had that on their bingo card. So I think sometimes you just have to accept that they're people and that also they are assets as well. Like you buy players for a certain amount of money, you expect them to deliver results. If they don't deliver the results, you got to get your return on your investment somewhere. You got to move them on. So that is what it is. What are you looking for here, Luis, and your ex?
I'm looking for
Mac's
first and
birthday.
foremost,
Happy birthday, Mac.
happy birthday, Macron.
Oh, you're looking for the
Happy birthday,
pictures of
Mac.
no.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Macron,
Are
right
you
there.
going here? Are
But I
you going
wanted to
to
bring
this?
this up. What happened?
Well, you know who's in these photos, right?
Listen, what?
You know who's in these photos, right?
Yeah, Tom.
Well, and me. You can see
You're there too.
10-year-old.
That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna ask.
yeah.
I was gonna
I
tell
thought
you,
you were
man. I
gonna troll
wasn't.
me. I thought this is you're like, here's
No,
John 10 years ago.
I wanted you to talk about the
I
10 years of
remember
Pride,
this. I
bro.
mean, you can see me in the pictures. I remember. Look,
Yeah, right there.
this is at
Look,
Lake Eola when we're announcing the team 10 years ago. And this was, yeah, there's Buddy Dyer.
that's me, your buddy Dyer. Yeah.
I mean, I still remember a lot of people. Okay, there's not in those photos, but the ones I see on Facebook, there you could literally see me selling merch.
On the Facebook of the
I think
Pride.
so. I don't know, or it was on the Insta. It was
Uh,
definitely on the Insta, but that's all meta. That's all meta now.
I don't even
It
have
was all
my
those years
Instagram.
ago. I'll find it here and show you. You
Yeah.
can
Find
see
it.
wee baby John, 10 years ago,
But
John.
but yesterday, 10 years ago, Orlando Pride celebrated 10. It celebrated 10 years. 10 years of the Pride, bro. I mean, how far this organization has turned around for the best.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, and also we won a trophy, so that's what we love to see. All right, here we are.
Yeah.
There I am. See?
There you go. Are you signing
In
pictures?
my hoodie.
You?
This was like my favorite Nike purple hoodie that I got when I went to the Nike store in like Portland. And I remember I loved this hoodie so much. I don't know why I'm wearing it on this clearly very hot day in Florida, but it was a choice.
There
So
you
yeah.
go. I just love the camo. She's already foreshadowing the New Jersey for San Diego Wave right there. The lady right there with the
Yeah, and I know people who recognize. There's Patty Sheehan. She was a district commissioner for years. There's like old interns I remember here. There's like people in these photos that have been there forever. So
is it.
um,
Oh,
it's just Sounder Counter says I finally made it live. Well, awesome, welcome.
thank you, Skander.
We are
Appreciate
literally
you,
about
man.
to end the pod, but
Yeah.
we appreciate you, Skander. It's because we're doing a Tuesday. Sorry to everybody that we had to do this today instead of on the Monday, but we just had to move some things around because Monday was very busy and we wanted to make sure that we had a pod this week, but at a reasonable time, so we moved it to Tuesday.
Yeah. So my favorite was when the former Gator coach, I forgot her name. It was uh, I forgot the of the Gator. Um, this is well, never right. Uh, yes, the better late than never. Are you there? Isolated again. Can you hear me? The right. One of some of my memories, the double is something huge for the organization, and it was something full circle. After seeing this team with so much disarray, getting that double was magical. How the whole city rallied behind it, so much so, guys, that we were probably the one of the few first ones that decided to cover the Pride fully and give him its own podcast. But then other shows started like talking a little bit about the Pride too. Oh, and Orlando Pride, like they're giving their well-deserved respect to the badge of the Orlando Pride. And that to me is a super dub. This is a W right there. It's a huge W because that's exactly what we want. We want people to truly know how amazing this team is and how well run it is and how much of a difference they make. Yes, the attendance could get better, but I think that's something that, the club is working on. But they've demonstrated that they have a now people on board that are capable to take the boat afloat and keep rowing and rowing forward. And I think we definitely in 10 years it's been a complete turnaround. The past, I will say, 2 or 3 years has been a complete different Pride, and it's phenomenal. I think we should continue that. Hopefully it's 10 more years of million years of more Pride. I think the Danner is Prego, as it says here. There you go. Well, if it is, congratulations, Kylie.
I
We miss
we
you.
we're that's speculation at this point, but
No
she is
speculation.
on a long term of absence with no explanation, and often, and that happens in this league, it could be that.
This is likely ML. They posted a pic of Sean Johnson with Kylie at the West Wednesday game. Well, yeah.
The NWSL fans, they don't miss anything. They're like on Insta. Y'all are like hawks out there. You just like anybody posts anything is like, oh yeah,
They're like
I saw that.
TMZ. TMZ.
For real, it's better than TMC. I think. I think Shinta and the crew are out here just they see it all.
No, I don't have time for that. But
All right,
either
Louis.
way, if she was, I wish her
Yeah, of
the
course.
best.
Regardless,
Yeah,
we are all speculating, but we would love to see Kylie back on the field soon. So,
100%.
you want to run through the socials? Let's get out of here.
Yeah, so we wanted to thank you for your support. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as LP_podcast, Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back probably next week, right, John? For more Pride. Yep. So thank you guys for your support. Drop us a comment, drop us a thumbs up, and vamos Pride. Have a good one, guys.
Vamos Pride.
Take care.